there, this is DJ from GameFocus, and we're doing a final focus on Wolfenstein, The New Order, with Nolan. Nolan's played the game, and he's going to tell us what he thought. Nolan, guten Tag.
How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So, you got to play Wolfenstein. It's the granddaddy of first-person shooters. And I was interested in your review. You mentioned that the game brought back a lot of old-school mechanics. Can you tell us more about those?
Yeah, definitely. It went back into the throwback to the non-regenerating health that's kind of permeated the entire industry, not just first-person shooters, but role-playing games and third-person action games. So you lose your health, you have to scrounge for a health pack. So that was a great addition, I think. I found myself, after playing it for a bit, getting used to that new concept. I actually found myself enjoying that more than the regenerating health. More strategy to it, kind of gave it a survival type gameplay feel, as opposed to running in, gunning as much as you can, absorbing damage, ducking, getting full, and then going back at it. Thought it was a nice touch. And
you get that great joy when you see a health pack.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. You know, I was also surprised to see that one of your comments on the visuals of the game was that some weaknesses in the character models. I believe G.I. Joe with no eyelids was one of your comments. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, especially in the early goings, in the early cinema scenes, they seem to have a no eyelid effect. It's a good looking game. Nothing I would say that makes you. I played it on the PlayStation 4 for the purposes of the review. It was good looking, but yeah, the character models. There's something about their eyes, especially in the early goings, and there's a sheen to them throughout the whole game that makes them look like plastic.
Could that be just because Nazis have no souls?
It could be, but the good guys have it too.
Oh, okay. And you know, on the opposite end, you raved about the environments. I was actually interested in one of your comments. Beautifully drab was one of the ways you described it, and I thought I should start calling my wardrobe beautifully drab too. But tell us about the environments.
Yeah, the environments are well designed. They're more open than your traditional third or first-person shooter. Not Far Cry open, but they encourage exploration. There's lots of secret nooks and crannies to find, collectibles, and they look like they suit the setting. Beautifully drab was the term I use, because if you look back to the best example is Star Wars movies, the way the Empire built everything was in their drab grays, whites. Similar to that, the Nazis have their sprawling concrete capital city levels suit the setting.
All right, awesome. And you mentioned exploration there, and I've heard that Wolfenstein has a fair bit of stealth in it as a gameplay option. Does that exploration facilitate the stealth mechanic?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of options in each level. You'll find yourself. I think they push stealth. I enjoyed it. Some people. I did mention in my review that AI. I found some trouble with the AI, and I think that might be because the stealth might be a little bit overpowered. Enemies don't seem to catch on. They don't seem to find bodies if you do stealth attacks. So as long as nobody's looking in your direction, you can pretty much pick off everybody using the stealth. I enjoyed it. The death animations are great, but some, I think, first-person shooter veterans might find it a little overpowered.
Okay, and something else you mentioned in your review that was different from a lot of first-person shooters is an ability tree that gave you extra powers for stealth attacks, or contrary to that, full-out assaults. How'd you enjoy the use of that tree?
I did enjoy the use of the perks. It's a perk system, kind of similar to games like Skyrim or Oblivion or the Fallout series. So definitely had Bethesda's fingerprints all over this one. I just found that the effects, it seemed to be more geared towards trophy or achievement grinding. So, you know, kill 20 Nazis with a throwing knife, and then you unlock that perk level. Some of them give you more health. Some of them give you better. I forget the word. When you're running with your machine gun, better aim, depending on what the
more Nazi killing awesomeness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found that the effects, the payoff wasn't there like in games like Fallout or Skyrim and Oblivion. I just felt it was more seemed trophy based.
And myself, and I think just about everyone in the video game sphere, got pretty sick of World War II shooters, 5, 6 years ago. Is it too early to be going back to killing Nazis in kind of this time period, or has Wolfenstein, found a new secret sauce to this formula?
At first, when I booted up the game and for the review and started it out, and the first mission, spoiler alert to anybody watching, but the first mission is pretty slow and does seem pretty typical first person. So I kind of went into that saying, "Oh no, here we go again, another." I thought we were done with these. Call of Duty moved on from the World War II. We don't need to retread on this. But then after you get past the beginning of that, you get into the game. The setting jumps ahead into the future, an alternate history setting. So the Nazis have won the war, and I think that saves it. And it's actually kind of a unique take on the World War II shooter.
Okay. And I understand that the Nazis have developed some special tech in this 1960s that doesn't necessarily follow our historical technology pathways.
Yeah, there's a nice sci-fi twist to it. I don't want to give it away for anybody who's playing the game, but the Nazis discover something that allows them to have this greater technology years beyond anybody else, and it actually is a big plot point in the game, but it's good. You meet some pretty crazy inventions. You have to fight some crazy stuff.
I see it's killing you not to divulge.
I know. I don't want to give away too much to everybody because a lot of it's plot oriented. But yeah, it's a nice sci-fi twist to the alternate history setting. I really enjoyed it.
Right. And so my favorite part of the original Wolfenstein 3D game 22 years ago was fighting Hitler's head that was affixed to a mech. Is there any chance that we get to see that in this version of Wolfenstein?
Oh, there's definitely a throwback to that at some point in the game.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And so are you foreseeing this as a rebirth of the Wolfenstein franchise?
I don't know how well it's sold so far, but I think so. I think it's a solid entry into the shooter space. It's unique take on the alternate history is different. Open levels are varied. Combat is varied. If you want to go in guns blazing, just your typical first-person shooter, you can. You can do the stealth-based focus. I think they will. I think it's. I'd like to see it. Again, I don't normally play first-person shooters, as I said in my review, and I'm actually glad I played this one. The story kept me hooked, and I liked the stealth-based stuff. It was rough around the edges. I think it was delayed. I think a year. It was supposed to come out last year, and you can definitely show that it paid off. Maybe it could have been delayed a little bit more, but
all right. So
get those eyelids on.
So that was some of the pros. Any other pros and a couple of cons to the game that just to wrap things up here?
Well, pros, I like the gameplay. The story-wise, the bad guys are bad. You love to hate them. There's a couple of people in them that I don't want to spoil too much, but they're partners. I guess they're husband and wife, but their deal, you'll wonder what their deal is, and they're just so evil that they kind of make the story almost.
Okay. And
they're not in it too much, but they're definitely enemies. You love to hate those Nazis.
All right, excellent. So when it's all said and done, I'm sure you had some bratwurst and sauerkraut when you finished off Wolfenstein. What score did you give it?
I gave it a 7.5. I thought because of the gameplay, I thought that throwback to that old-fashioned, no regenerating health, and they did it. They did it great. It's got a kind of a survivor type feel to it. I just thought it was a little rough. Some of the enemy AI was rough. I think stealth might have been overpowered, and that's a result of the AI. Enemies don't discover the dead bodies. They don't see that. And also, I didn't really touch on it in the review in the interest of time, but sound. There's some sound issues, especially with BJ's, the main character's inner monologue. I just thought it was kind of funnily mixed.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Sounds like I'm going to have to go and give Wolfenstein a try, and maybe pick up some Lederhosen on the way.
Yeah.
And thanks for chatting with us about the game.
Yeah,
and,
no problem. Anytime.
We'll talk to you for next review.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.